So now let's assume we have two data series. We have the stock prices and we have interest rate. And we want to carry out an analysis using this data. But of course, we have to test the stationarity to see if the data is stationary or not. So what is the first step? The first step is that we start by drawing the data so that we can see the behavior of the data, the appearance of the data, the movement of the data. And this is the trend. You can see this is the trend of interest rate. It is moving like this. It seems to be stationary. If you look at the stock, it is moving upward. Yeah, it has a trend. It has a trend. This trend is upward. Then, even by looking at it just by mere eyes, you see that this one is not stationary, simply because it has a trend. But this one, there is a high probability that is stationary. It is not moving up, it is not moving down. So the first thing is to get an idea, even before you carry out the test, is to get an idea of the behavior of the data. Then, having known the behavior of the data, now we can go to test. So we carry out the test and we get the results. So let's assume that we have carried out the test. I will show you how to carry out the test later. So let's assume that you have carried out the augmented Dickey test for interest rates and you have obtained these results. So this is the result. This is how the results will appear. How do you interpret the results? You can say this is D. If you look at if you are keen here, you say this is D Dickey. It means Dickey test of interest rates. So this is how you code the analysis. And then you can see that it is Dickey test for unit root test. The number of observations are 99. And then you have the results here. As I mentioned last week, the most simple way to tell whether or to make a conclusion about the results is to look at the p-value, this one. This one is the most simple way. And we said that if this one is less than 0.05, if it is less than 0.05, then we reject. We reject the null hypothesis. If it is greater than 0.05, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. This is the simple way, because we just look at this value, and you can see for this case, it is 0.000, the p-value. And because the p-value is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. And after rejecting the null hypothesis, our conclusion is even if you go to this with this table, if we reject the null hypothesis, then we are concluding that the series is stationary. So it is clearly shows that whatever we observed here, it is confirmed by the results that the data is stationary. Then we can use this table also. We see that if the test statistics is less than the critical value, so here, so this is the test statistics. You can see here is the test statistics, negative 9.274. Then you have the critical values at 1%, critical values at 5%, critical values at 10%. So you compare the test statistics with all these critical values. and you will see -9 is less than -3, it is less than -2, it is less than -2.5. That means this is our situation, that the test statistics is less than critical value. -9 is less than -3, -2.8, and -2.5. So this is our situation. Then we reject the null hypothesis, and we conclude that that series or that data is stationary. So now we go, or you can have a conclusion here. Since the p-value, this one, is less than 0.05, we reject null, and conclude that the series is stationary. Remember, our hypothesis was this, the null hypothesis. The series is non-stationary, and because we have rejected it, we conclude that the series is stationary. Then we go to the ADF for stock. So our stock, this was our stock. From the look of things, it seemed to be not stationary because it have a trend. It has a trend, it is moving upward. So let us carry out the test and see if the graph is correct or not. So we carry out the test of stock. And then this is our p-value here. The p-value is 0.9052. This one is greater than 0.05. Is greater than 0.05. So what do we do? We fail to reject the null hypothesis. We fail to reject the null hypothesis, and we conclude that the series is not stationary. So I've explained here, not stationary at levels because the p-value is greater than 0.05. So now we have seen that for interest rate, the data is stationary. For stock, the data is not stationary. In other words, for interest rate, we don't have a problem. The assumption is satisfied. But for stock, we have a problem because the data is not stationary. So how do we deal with the non-stationary data? How do we deal with the non-stationary data? We go back to what we discussed, and we said, if a time series is found to be non-stationary, such as the stock prices we have, it is usually transformed, and in most cases we use differencing to achieve stationarity before modeling or before carrying out the analysis. So we have to change this data. We have to transform the data until it becomes stationary. So the question is, how do we transform the data? And we have said that we transform the data by looking or by changing it by differencing. So we difference that data. So if you are keen here, you'll see I have coded the data here. I have generated new data which is differenced. And you can see it is D stock. It means that data has been transformed. Then after transforming the data, we carry out the analysis again. But this time around, we are using the difference data, the transformed data. So I have indicated here ADF at first difference. We have differenced the data once. So after differentiating the data, we can see now the p-value becomes significant. The p-value here is less than 0.05. So in the first one, it was greater than 0.05, but in the second one, it is less. So in this second one, we reject the null and we conclude that the data is stationary. What we have done here is that we have transformed the non-stationary data to a stationary data. We tested the non-stationary data first. We found that it is not stationary. We have transformed the data. Then we have tested it again, and it has become stationary. So when you are carrying out the analysis, you will use two categories of data. The original data in the case of interest rate, because it was stationary at levels, and a different stock prices, because it was stationary after differencing or after transforming. So that is how you deal with the non-stationary data.